Uh, this is Hindu god, Lord Shiva, and it is called Ardhanarishwar. And according to Hindu mythology, this is the god who talked about all the human beings, they bear all the characteristics, traits, what the society perceive as male traits and female traits. So, half man, half woman means every human being bears all the characteristics of masculine and feminine. So, this is the idea of masculinity according to Hindu mythology. So, I further extend to the latest ideas, understanding masculinity as a social construct. Friends, it has long been recognized that masculinity, like femininity, is a discursive construction, an idea created, reformed, reformulated, and solidified in discourse. The two concepts are most often constructed in a series of binary oppositions, which include men are strong, women are weak, men are rational, women are emotional, men are objective, women are subjective, men are logical, women are intuitive, men are brave, women are timid, men are aggressive, assertive, and women are gentle, passive. These polar oppositions do not conform to any empirical reality, and the mixtures and overlaps among people are so great that it is hard to make such facile comparisons. Human beings are immeasurably flexible, fluid, changing, and emergent beings with no person having monopoly of fixed traits. Many researchers, you can name Alfred Kinsey, Marston Johnson, Sarah Haidt, and other feminist researchers, prove that ideas of masculine and feminine are theoretical constructions, and no man or woman strictly conforms to what is considered masculinity or femininity. And differences in traits or temperaments between the sexes are not a function of their biological differences. Rather, they resulted from differences in socialization and cultural expectations held for each sex. Both masculinity and femininity are social constructions that tend to force people into fixed and immutable categories by imposing behavioral standards and norms upon them. Such norms and standards are based on the patriarchal imperative of creating mutually exclusive categories with fixed roles and responsibilities. Any border crossing by either sex is condemned and strictly regulated through laws and policies of the state, which has a need for characteristics considered womanly and manly. As femininity and masculinity are social and historical constructions, not natural, therefore it is right to say that no one is born a man or woman. They are created, constructed. So, they can be recreated, reconstructed by deconstructing their old beliefs, values, and norms. Friends, I have been working with several feminist organizations since 1997 on gender issues, and after 3-4 years of working with feminist organizations and working with women, particularly victims of dowry burning and domestic violence, we realized that if we want to solve this problem, so we have to make men gender equitable. So, in 2001, we developed this network, Men's Action for Stopping Violence Against Women, MASWA. And MASWA is a men's network, social action group to stop violence against women. At its core are academicians, researchers, and practitioners who educate men in universities, colleges, schools, in local communities to spread the message of gender justice. So, I am co-founder of this network, and I am regional convener, and you will listen Satish Singh, he is a national convener of MASWA. So it is not a NGO. It's not a registered body. It's just a campaign to sensitize males in universities, colleges, and in communities. So we have following assumptions that men are not violent by birth and they learn gender norms through gender-based socialization. Masculinity and femininity are socially constructed, which can be deconstructed. Men are privileged in patriarchal system and hold the position of authority. All men are not perpetrators, though most perpetrators of violence are men, and they can also be survivor of gender-based violence. And social change is not only a women's issue, and men have a decisive role in preventing and eradicating this pervasive form of social injustice. So I will talk about the work I do in the university system. I organize different activities in the university. I organized different kind of lectures among different students from different faculties, and you can see that we organize several debates, several activities so that a student can get interested to work on this issue. Because the area where we work, that is highly patriarchal, and working on this issue is really very challenging. So it's very difficult to attract youth to work on this issue. So I organize different kind of activities, and I organize different group activities to achieve our objectives. We followed series of programs designed and designated for the whole year by the governing body of the MASWA. And programs have wide range, including from screening of the films, poster making competitions, discussions, debates, brainstorming sessions, lectures of the experts, workshops, and simulation exercises to release and street plays. So in the university, we discuss about gender stereotype attitudes, beliefs about masculinity, about sexuality, about the problem of HIV/AIDS, about domestic violence, violence against women, and violence against men also in the campus. So you can see those activities from these photographs. So we also evaluate the program, the effectiveness of our program, and in order to observe attitudinal changes in depth, a qualitative interview of members were conducted. Close friends, non-MASWA members, and fellow female students and parents of the group members were also interviewed separately to seek their opinion about the changes. And you can see from those quotations that students say about that we have to fight against the traditional definition of masculinity, which implies that if you are a man, we must redefine masculinity in the university campus in such a way that a real man is he who respects women. And in the university campus, a slogan of MASWA became popular, which says, "Men of quality are not afraid of equality." And a fine art student said that after being a member, now came to know that there is nothing wrong being emotional. And a law graduate student expressed his conflict in following words: "Now I know what is being man, but how can I change my parents and family members who force me to confirm the traditional masculinity? It is causing pain." So they find different kind of challenges from their family members also. We see these accomplishments of MASWA at interpersonal level and intrapersonal level. At interpersonal level, interaction among male and female students increased, and more female students started sharing their problems with MASWA members. Other not MASWA members, male students, also started sharing their problems such as dowry-related issues, patriarchal structure of their family and society, and their sexuality as well. So peer group learning was started at university level. And at intrapersonal level, all members perceive themselves more sensitive towards gender issues, their attitudes towards masculinity, sexuality, gender division of labor, women's work. Now I go through the challenges faced during the program. As you know, in our society, there is lack of cultural sanction regarding working on gender issues, and there is negligible support from the society. At university level, I also found that the university administration doesn't like this kind of work in the university because it sometimes bring defame to the university, because there are number of cases of sexual harassment of female students. If you talk about those things, vice chancellors, they don't like because it is published in the newspaper. So they really neglect this thing. And there is also a challenge we face about the intentions of our work from the feminist organizations. They doubt about us, what kind of work you are doing. Sometimes they doubt that you are making associations of men against women. Sometimes they fear about they are losing their space regarding funds. So, and another challenge we face that monitoring and follow up the changes among students after they left the university campus. It's really impossible. After they left the university campus, it is difficult to monitor their behavior, their attitude, what they are doing in the society. And another challenge we face that is denial of inheritance of ancestral property. If really you want to bring change among you, in your family structure, so your parents, your father, he may deny that he may ask you to leave the family, and he may deny the property. So there are a lot of challenges, but in spite of these challenges, my model shows that it is possible to work with men and boys. Men can bring the changes at institutional and individual level. This example shows that young men are not opposed to change, however small in number, and their agency can be employed successfully in achieving the mammoth goal of gender equality. Thank you.